basically a rhino hunting group.
I'm live. Hello, everybody. Dave, are we live on both
1
of
second.
them? Well, no, come on in. Oh, you. I know y'all know who this is, and I hope y'all don't. Y'all know who this is. This is John Paul. When I say he's a grassroots activist, he's a rhino hunter. He also wants to get out the truth of God, family, country, and exactly what we believe in. So, John Paul, can you tell everybody? Y'all should know him, especially people on my page. He was at our rallies. He's came to our rallies. He's backed us of what we've been doing for all this time. So, what are you doing now?
Well, I'm doing what you're doing. We're fighting to save the country, right?
Yes.
But we have a lot. We actually have to save all of Western civilization, by the way. It actually goes beyond America right now. Canada, example one,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So what I'm doing is that it's kind of this Go USA is the group, and I ran for Congress in 2020. I saw the crap go down, how bad it was, how the fraud, the corruption, and the absolute incompetence of the morons in Congress, and most of the people running to replace them, except for the good guys like us. And I realized there's something that had to be done to fix the problem. Because I'm a business guy, right? So I'm like, people buy what they want to buy. Like, if people want red cars, companies sell red cars. If people don't want green cars, they don't make green cars. They don't buy them. But in politics, it's the opposite. People keep buying and electing crappy politicians.
So how would you get people to actually wake up and pay attention and vet these people?
Well, it struck me thinking about example of Rotten Tomatoes. I read the story on that. So before Rotten Tomatoes was out, almost a half a trillion dollar industry called the entertainment news industry, right?
Yes, bread and circus.
Would tell you what to watch and advertise to you what to watch, and people like nodding chickens would fill the theaters, right? But then Rotten Tomatoes came around, this little tiny website that just aggregated the scores of what everyday people say about the movies and the TV shows. It's the most feared and respected website in all of Hollywood. Half a trillion dollar industry, they tremble at what happens because all people care about is the audience score. They care about their peers. So what if we did that and turned that idea onto politicians?
What is your website?
So what it is, it's go-usa.us, and it's called the OppScore. And the OppScore can take out the entire corrupt political establishment. Because what it will do is we look at not what's left versus right. Ready for this? It's what people want. What do the people want on every issue, 39 issues, versus what they're getting from the politicians. And by doing that, it takes the argument away from red, blue, left, right, Republican, Democrat. It's what do the people want? As long as it's constitutional, Constitution is the foundation. As long as it's constitutional.
I think we had a couple of rhinos actually walk by us because when you was talking about being scored, he looked you up and down. So I don't think that the rhino establishment of the Republican Party is going to appreciate what you're doing.
They ain't going to like it. They ain't going to like it. They're not going to like it because the only people that do well in the score are people that actually do what the people want them to do. And there's a very small number of politicians that are actually score very high.
So what are the scores? How are you breaking that down?
So what we do is we take there's 5 principles of opportunity. So we do everything we keep it simple. On our logo is 5-point American star. So we say everything in government is personal opportunity, like constitutional liberties and freedoms.
Yes.
Economic, social, educational, and national.
Okay.
Everything fits in those 5 buckets. We look at the issues. For example, school choice, right? Where is the politician on school choice?
Right.
Right? If they're for the teachers' unions,
then they're not.
By definition, they're not school choice.
No,
they take money from them. They vote for these bills. They are against school choice, and they're against your kids. Case closed. They can't argue it. Okay. One issue after the border taxes medical freedom. We can easily find out where they stand. It's a smoking gun. We put it all together. You have a score from +5, the best score you can get, the 5-point star, to -5, which is
so how do a politician actually get scored? Do you do it if they're just running for office? Do you score them before they get elected?
So what we're doing is we have a team of volunteer ratings team. By the way, we need more ratings people because it's a manual process. We have a systematic approach, but it still takes time to look up the voting records and all these things to give them their scores. So if they're in office, it's much easier to score somebody because they have a voting record. If they're running for office, we require that they fill out the survey.
Okay.
Which goes through all 39 questions, and we see where they stand. But we also compare it against their websites and their statements. So if they lie, we catch them.
Well, you're seeing a lot of crossovers right now. When I say crossovers, Democrats becoming little R's. and
What about
trying to use the talking points of the Republican Party. Have you noticed that there
Of
are more
course.
crossovers now?
Because they know they're caught in they were caught screwing everybody,
Mhm.
and they see the polls going against them. So now they're just backtracking, and they're all of a sudden masked. Oh yeah, masked. They were calling you a Nazi and a racist and a baby killer and a grandma killer until all of a sudden they realize the polls are going against them. So not only are they liars, they're also hypocrites.
Yes.
Don't fall for it because they screwed you for 2 years. We have the goods, and by the way, the OppScore won't let them go.
Well,
You
good.
can't just say what you say means nothing compared to what you do.
Now tell everybody
What you
exactly
do.
your website, where they can find you at, about the manual ratings, the volunteers that you need, and just get it out there on all our platforms.
Yeah, that's great. So we need to get popular support for this. By the way, I showed this to everybody and 95% of people, even people that call themselves on the left, like it because they want the accountability.
Mhm.
We're also doing a fraud alert. We're going to be adding that in. Every time they cross the line, they do an illegal stock trade, they commit fraud, they get money from a bad source.
Mhm.
We want to show that.
Well,
So-
you're really messing with you're stepping on their toes now, and especially what just went down with the stocks, and that actually is a problem. But
Yeah.
wait a minute, I don't understand why is it outrage now? Because didn't they have their stock app a long time ago that was gutted, and they still got their way? You can let Nancy Pelosi, you can
That's
let
right.
the Republicans. They have been doing illegal stock trading for a very long time. It's called insider trading.
That's right, and that's why they'll tell us what to do.
Mm-hmm.
They'll put us in masks. They don't wear masks. They tell us. I don't think most of you even got the jab, right? So, and now the illegal stock trading. You know, everybody's pissed off about that. That's just like an 87% popular opinion against those assholes.
Okay.
All right. Excuse my French. So, what we got to do is go to score them, expose them. There might be a few that kind of have a come to Jesus moment. They go in the confessional booth. They say they're sorry and they never do it again. But the most of them, they got to get thrown out of office.
Then
We
we
got to
need
throw
to
them
do
out.
it.
So that's
DUI. They're driving under influence.
yeah. If you're watching this, who wants to get a DUI?
I don't.
You lose your license forever, maybe 10 years. You have
Mhm.
$10,000 in fees.
Yes.
Okay, so a GUI is governing under the influence. When we have enough evidence, which means if they're a bad score, if it's under a 0, if they're on the negative side, which is like the hell side of the score, means they're screwing you everywhere they can have a chance to screw you. We call that governing under the influence because we got the receipts, we got the goods, we got the proof that you're going against the people.
Now
You
the
need to get
rhinos
off the
really
road.
are not going to like you now.
Yeah, well, so if you're bad, if you're between a 0 and a 3, you get a warning. And if you get under a 0, you get a citation. We ask you to leave office immediately because drunk drivers can't drive until court date, and you can't govern until election date. We want you out that night, immediately. And that's
He
what we're
is
telling you.
changing the game
Get
of
out.
everything.
Get out. You're just going to get out. That's like a doctor being a heart surgeon and having a 90% kill rate. They wouldn't be employed. No one would get a heart surgery from that person, right? We're dealing with these people, and if they get that bad of a score, so it'll hold
Well,
them
the new
accountable.
healthcare system is
throw 'em
kind
out.
of like that because you can't get rid of bad doctors. They just move them on around to another
True.
hospital.
But you're not going to go to them if you can get a record on them. They have a 90%
No, we'll
killer.
not go to them at all.
So that's what we need. So what we need to do, yeah. So it's a fun thing. We're going to in person present these GUIs and say, here you go, Nancy Pelosi. You need to leave today.
Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell, you need to leave today.
Hi.
So
Keep going. Keep going.
So what we're going to do is, if people can help us, go to go-usa.us. Please, very important. It's a big button that says endorse. It takes you 15 seconds. You put your name, your address, your street address, and your zip code, and an email goes to immediately figures out who your representatives in Congress are, sends your representative and your 2 senators a survey asking them to show their goods, where they stand.
I like it.
And fill out the sheet and stand. And if they lie, they're going to get even worse score. Tell the truth. So where you stand, and we're going to expose you, and that'll help create the score.
And it's OppScore.com.
No, it's go-usa.us.
Okay.
I think we have OppScore.com. It just doesn't point to it yet.
Okay.
And we need donations because this is a big event, big effort. This is a big effort to get this up and off the ground. And we need volunteers. We need people to rate. We need ratings people, promotional people, fundraising people. But if we do this right, the whole establishment's going to collapse. Because we're going to have a system that works just like Yelp or Rotten Tomatoes.
Are you still on what
Change it
social
all.
media platforms can people
We're
find
on
you?
everything, really. Just look up Opportunity, the number 4 USA.
Mhm.
So we're on Cloud Hub. We're on, of course, unfortunately, Facebook and Twitter because it's still there. But we're on the alternative platforms as well.
And he will be on Truth Social when it actually is up and completely running.
Yes. We're
So
registered
yes,
for it.
you already
Okay.
registered.
Yes.
All right,
Go
so y'all
USA.
keep a look out
Keep
for.
up, look out for Go USA on Truth Social, and please look out for what we're doing and support these guys, because what you're doing is so essential. We all have our mission. It's like fighting the battle of Normandy, right? We have all different functions. Our function is the scoring system, and if we get everybody behind it, it'll make a big change. Thank you,
so
everybody.
much.
Go USA.
Citizen Media.